Well, we're live here in Modesto for the WRT 2015 Modesto Open Final. I'm Laura McCormick with the WRT, and joining me today on the broadcast is our local player, Izzy Torres. Welcome, Izzy.
How's it going? How's it going? Sunday Fun Day. This is where all the money's made, right here in the finals, WRT.
That's right. This is the big money game here today, where we have number 1 Alex Cardona facing off against number 2 Jake Bredenbeck. So, Izzy, before this match gets started, do you care to make a prediction?
Let's see here. Well, me being a big man myself, I'm going to have to go with the big guy. You know, I think usually people think that the small guy's usually the underdog, but I don't think so in this sport. There's a lot less big guys than there is small guys, so I'm going with Jake.
All right. Well, for those of you watching at home, we'd love to hear who you think is going to win this match here today and be crowned champion of the 2015 Modesto Open. So if you go to Facebook and Twitter and leave your remarks there, we're happy to hear from you. You can follow us there at World Arball Tour and let us know who you think will be the new champion here today.
Side out.
Looks like a skip there maybe from...
Great defensive dig there by Jake. He was able to turn a tough shot into a great defensive shot.
Skip.
All right, well, there's the first point then for Jake Bredenbeck.
Side out.
Cardona answers back pretty quick with a big swing overhead.
0 serving 1.
Now these two have matched up 4 times alone this year. The last time they saw each other was at the Grace Warrior Open last month in Atlanta, where Cardona defeated Bredenbeck for the title there in the finals.
Point.
Previous to that, Bredenbeck beat Cardona at the Midwest Championships in May to win his second WRT title. So this is quite the rematch here today. These two battling for points, number 1 against number 2. That's what we like to see in the finals.
Great rally there.
Yeah, starting out game 1 with a big rally here.
2 serving 1.
Ooh. You don't see that very often, Jake getting caught there between the legs.
Yeah, he's a pretty nimble guy for being as big as he is. It's definitely, you know, he trains really hard to be able to compete at this level, and to be number 1 and number 2, he's right there where he needs to be.
Good serve.
What a serve by Cardona. Choking Jake up there in that corner. Now that corner's been giving a lot of players trouble here this weekend.
Cardona owning the middle of the court here, owning these first couple plays here as we get going early in the game.
Yeah, opening up with a 4-point lead and lots of confidence there.
Skip ball.
Unfortunate error there for Bredenbeck. Izzy, in your experience, what do you think Jake needs to do in order to kind of shake up Cardona right now and gain some momentum on his side?
You know, I think he just needs to get into a happy zone, you know, maybe get that one good shot to kind of turn the momentum. Sometimes that's all you need is just one good one. The other guy will kind of control the tempo of the game, but when you get your setup, you got to take advantage.
7-1, timeout.
And time in as Cardona starts serving.
There it is. The timeout is paid off there. Jake got his set up, able to make a great cross-court pass that was unreturnable.
1-7.
Looks like all he needed was a bit of a mental break. Nice rip there from Cardona, really playing the angles there and hitting it where Jake wasn't.
7-1.
There we go, no points changed there. That's good for Bredenbeck as he steps
1-7.
back into the service box.
Good serve.
Great A serve there by Jake. Really tuned in, got that correct serve.
2-7.
Wow.
That was a tough one, folks. That was a tough one. He made it look easy, and he's walking up like he meant to do it. Hey, that was a big shot between the legs from the back forehand corner. Amazing.
7, serving 2.
That's pretty crazy.
Short serve.
Nice chase down by both players. A lot of power here on the court. We have Bredenbeck and
7.
Cardona, definitely two of the strongest players here on the WRT. Power v. power.
Point.
And just as well as you can see in that last play, there's also touch involved in this game. These guys have a good mix of power and touch. Tough to do.
Side out.
I don't think that serve went the way Bredenbeck planned.
7, serving 3. Point.
Bredenbeck pretty fired up out there. We're definitely getting the crowd involved. They're loving the action out here today.
8,
Well, I can
3.
imagine emotions are going to be high today, especially if these guys have been battling back and forth, you know, taking matches from each other month to month, coming up here in the finals. See who's going to take it. It's all about bragging rights.
Skip. Nine, serving 3.
Now, one thing we have seen all weekend between the quarters and the semis is game 1 is completely different from game 2. In game 2, traditionally, it's been a completely different battle. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes from 1 to 2 here.
Side out.
Side out for Bredenbeck.
3, serving 9. Side out. 9, serving 3. Second serve.
placement
Jake.
there from Cardona, who's playing really smart so far today in game one.
Jake.
Looks like our ref, Nikolai Miramontes, is going to give Jake a warning.
It's a great wide angle pass there by Cardona. Just textbook right there. Can't do anything about it when that ball's just running away from you.
Technical on Jake.
Yeah, he is looking, Cardona's looking really comfortable out there right now. He's been making great shot selection all weekend.
10 serving 2.
So it looks like Miramontes did give
Point.
Jake a technical that causes him
Timeout.
to lose a point. Score is now 10 serving 2. Looks like Jake's going to go ahead and cool off there for a minute. Things are heating up here in game one. We'll be right back with more of Cardona versus Bredenbeck after this.
Time in.
The players are back on the court. Time in game
12 serving
one
2.
of our final here between Cardona and Jake Bredenbeck.
12-2. Good shot.
Tough shot there by Cardona. Sometimes you would think that people would hold up on that one, but
Jake,
when you have your
sorry,
opponent
12-2.
pinned on the wall, that's when you want to take those shots. That's when you want to shoot it across the
12-2.
court.
Era 11 el otro.
All right, score is 12 serving 2. Again, nice shot selection from Cardona. Wow.
Point.
Tough point there, tough point there. You always want to be right in there, but when your opponent hits a miss hit, you kind of have to just guess on what that ball's going to do, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it.
13
as you can
serving
see.
2.
Surprise for everybody.
That's right.
13-2, quite an interesting start to our final here in Modesto.
Side out.
Nice side out there from Bredenbeck.
2 serving 13. Side out.
That's tough. I feel like that serve was just a big setup for Cardona. Maybe not the best strategy.
13
Yeah,
serving
that's
2.
definitely a momentum breaker. You know, Jake's struggling to get something going here, and he just can't get anything going whenever Cardona's hitting clean, nice down the line shots just like that.
Trying to find what works.
Point.
Once again, Cardona playing those angles,
14
hitting nice clean
serving
shots.
2.
Those are really the cleanest shots in racquetball. Those are highest percentages and a little bit easier to hit. You can control your game like that, you'll definitely get the results that you want.
This puts Cardona in his first game point position here, 14-2.
Ball is dead.
Broken ball, so we're going to replay that.
Another ball.
Getting a fresh ball out there on the court. And of course, folks, next weekend, you can find both Bredenbeck and Cardona and the WRT in San Diego, where we will be at a pro event at the World Gym East Lake.
14
Following
serving 2.
week after that, we will be at the Kitsap Splat in Washington. If you guys go to worldracquetballtour.com and click on tournaments, you can find out how we're going to end up in 2015 and follow along with your favorite pros. Here we go, game point for Alex Cardona. And that's going to
That is
end
game
game
number one.
15-2. Anything can happen here with the WRT. We'll be back with more of game 2, and we'll find out if Bredenbeck can answer back in the finals. We'll be right back. And we're back live at the 2015 Modesto Open. I'm Laura McCormick with the WRT, and joining me here is local pro from Modesto, Izzy Torres. Izzy, I wanted to get your perspective on the club here a little bit. We are at Fitness Evolution, and can you talk to us a little bit about the courts here and the programs that are happening in Modesto?
Yeah, definitely. Being born and raised in this gym, definitely had a lot of experiences. Definitely a power hitter's gym. All these walls are cement walls, which means that ball is going to be flying off the court. So, you'll see Jake and Alex both creaming that ball, and that ball will do exactly what it's supposed to do, come off even faster. Myself, I run the juniors program. I was brought up, born and raised with the juniors program here. And this is kind of, the kind of thing you need around to kind of grow the sport. Myself growing up, being a part of a juniors program, as well as competing very strong with the Stockton program, that's just kind of thing that fuels racquetball and pushes guys to the next level.
Well, awesome, and we thank you for being a part of a juniors program, obviously, and helping grow the sport of racquetball. That is part of the WRT mission.
0-7-0.
And we'll be back here in 2016 for another big event. And here we are in Game 2, Cardona and Bredenbeck. Anything can happen.
Side out.
All right, there's a side out for Cardona.
Zero, zero. Point.
Tough shot there. Tough shot. Jake obviously was reading a different shot there. The ball took a weird bounce and sent him in the other way. Even though that first game was kind of a tougher one for Jake, you can assume that this next game is going to be an all-out war between the two of these guys.
Nice pickup by Jake.
Right on cue, another great rally there. These guys are going to be battling here the next half hour or so. They're going to get after it.
Yeah, I think Game 2 is going to be a long one. Oh, that's tough. Jake trying to chase it back down in the corner. A lot of pressure when you have that kind of shot in the front of the court, but these pros are used to it.
Second serve.
And there's Jake answers back with another short shot there from the front of the court. And a side out for Bredenbeck. Wow, nice return there from Cardona. I know the Z serve has been really effective here on these courts this weekend. That back left corner is pretty tricky, giving the pros a lot of trouble here this weekend, but Cardona, not a problem.
Second serve. Side out.
Fortunate double fault there for Cardona.
Zero, serving one.
Oh, wow. What an amazing shot there. He just slammed that into both side walls and it pinched right in the front. It froze Jake right in his feet. He heard the loud shot, but then had to watch the ball just fall to the front wall. Great shot.
Big rip there from Bredenbeck. Heard somebody in the crowd say, kill
0-1.
that ball. Still 0-1 here in game 2. Wow.
Set out.
Interesting shot there from Cardona, and Bredenbeck picking it up, and then tough way to end that shot with the...
You can see Cardona definitely keeping his poise here. He knows the pressure's on Jake to come back and try and get this second game. His poise is allowing him to stay in control of this game as Jake's trying to put on the pressure to get that second game back.
Side out.
Yep, Jake definitely keeping the pressure on here in game 2. Stuck a little bit at 0-1, much different from game 1. Switching up the serve.
Point.
The ref's calling it good. That means it's going to be a first point for Bredenbeck.
1-1.
It's interesting how Cardona is really receiving and hitting back Bredenbeck's serves, because normally Bredenbeck is one of the toughest servers here on the WRT, and not really giving him a problem.
Point.
Great serve there by Cardona. Really sticking to his game, really hitting a really clean game today. You know, not a lot of errors. Everything's very clean and flush with the wall. It's going right where he wants it to go.
2-1.
Yeah, he's really focused here today.
Point.
Again, owning the front of the court. It's just going, everything is going Cardona's way right now. Let's see if Jake can do something to kind of break this momentum.
Now I know last night Bredenbeck played in the semifinals and started suffering from a cramp there at the end of his match against David Bobby Horn, and then he continued on to play in the semifinals of doubles, so it takes a toll on you. There's a lot of matches that happen here this weekend, and hopefully Bredenbeck is staying hydrated.
Right, a lot of wear and tear on the body, but again, this is the finals. This is where you leave it all out on the court. This is what you worked for all weekend, and you know, all that stuff is just secondary at this point.
This is what you're training for.
Right,
so.
exactly.
Go a side out for Jake. See if he can gain a couple points here.
1-4.
Starting with this serve. If Cardona's not having any trouble with Jake's serve here this weekend.
Point.
Nice shot and a point for Bredenbeck.
Finally getting able to get a rally to go his way. Let's see if Jake can build on that.
Two in a row for Jake. Some nice gets there to keep it alive and able to get a point out of it.
Well, that'll definitely be key here for Jake if he wants to take this game. He's going to have to control, put a lot of big runs together, put a lot more pressure on Cardona.
Side out.
That's a tough rally there.
4-3.
Cardona with all the confidence, definitely one of the most composed players here on the WRT. You don't see too much emotion from him when he's out there. And he's definitely under Jake's skin right now.
Second serve.
Good get by Jake.
Big setup and great pass for Cardona. Had Jake guessing which way he was going to go. He had to overcommit to an angle, and Cardona taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I feel like Cardona is just really reading Jake and the court really well right now, and he's able to throw Jake off.
Side out.
There's Jake's answer. Both these players come from a long history of racquetball. Bredenbeck has 2 WRT titles. He played in the Pan American Games this year, and he's also a USA national team player.
Side out.
And Alex Cardona has 6 titles here with the WRT, including winning back-to-back titles at our last 2 events in Florida and Atlanta. Along with, I think, 11 junior titles. So, I mean, he's played a lot of racquetball. And coming out of Mexico, it's a very popular sport.
Another amazing pass there by Cardona. He just has these momentum breakers. It doesn't matter how hard Jake's been working to get 1 or 2 points together. Whenever he hits one of these clean shots, you can just see it kind of take the wind out of Jake's sails here. Very tough to overcome when those shots are consistently coming at you.
Wow. Nice serve from Cardona.
Timeout, 7.
Bredenbeck's going to go ahead and take a timeout. We'll be right back with more of Cardona and Bredenbeck after this. And we're back live in Game 2 of the 2015 Modesto Open Final with a special offer for those of you watching at home. Offering now a lifestyle tee free with any purchase at gearboxrb.com. If you go to gearboxrb.com and enter the promo code WRTMO, you'll go ahead and receive your Lifestyle City Beat free t-shirt. So you can stay looking stylish on and off the court while still supporting the sport you love.
Time in.
We're back in Game 2 where Cardona is dominating and playing some really solid racquetball against Jake Bredenbeck. An interesting thing to see, of course, is always the progression of players. And when I started with the WRT about 1.5 years ago, it was all power from Cardona and intimidation. And it's nice to see his game really develop where he's making much better shots and really just elevating his intuition out there on the court and dominating right now as #1 on the WRT.
Point.
Yeah, it's really evident here today. All that hard work is paying off. You know, sometimes you have to, adjust your game style as it goes on.
Serving 3.
Find that thing that's more consistent. Obviously, as going out here today, a lot of clean down the line shots. Keep Jake guessing which way he's going to hit.
Nice pinch there from Bredenbeck, giving him the side out. An opportunity here to answer back against Cardona.
3 serving 8. Point.
There we go, so movement for Bredenbeck. Let's see if he can capitalize on this. If we take a look at the path that these guys took to get here, which you can do at home as well by going to bit.ly/Modesto Open 15. Cardona defeated Luis Avila in round 16s and faced Jordi Alonso in the quarterfinals, defeating him 3-8. And in the semifinals last night, he defeated #5 Andre Padilla 4-9.
4 serving 8.
Bredenbeck playing Kenny Alvarez in round 16s, followed by the quarterfinals against Francisco Troncoso, beating him 3-12, and had a tough semifinal last night against David Horn, going to breaker after losing game 1, coming back to win games 2 and 3. Some powerful shots there from Bredenbeck, but Cardona there to scoop them all up and win the side out.
Persistence is paying off for Cardona. He's definitely in control of this game. You can tell Bredenbeck is definitely trying to push the issue, trying to, put his will in on this game, trying to let his emotions push him over the top, but Cardona's poise is just overruling everything.
Point. 9-4.
Again, it's just amazing to see how Cardona's just always in the right spot at the right time. He just kind of almost even baiting Jake into hit shots that are going to go down his way. And when he does, he takes advantage. Nasty backhand finish there. The pinch just rolls right in front of Bredenbeck. Alex is really feeling it now. He's going to try and turn it up and see if he can put this game away.
We're here in game 2, 11-4.
Side out.
There we go, a nice reverse pinch there for Bredenbeck to get on the side out.
4-11.
Ooh, and it just kind of dies there in the crack.
Little back wall roll out there. It's usually not something that's planned, but
5-11.
hey, when you're down like Jake is, you take anything you can get right about now.
Play it up. Nice serve. There's some really nice placement there from Bredenbeck.
Timeout.
Giving
6-7,
Cardona a little
11.
bit of a taste of his own medicine. And with that, Cardona's going to go ahead and break Jake's momentum with a timeout. We'll be back with more of game 2 after this. Here we are live in game 2 of our 2015 Modesto final. Bredenbeck versus Cardona. Sked by Cardona.
Point.
And that's exactly what Jake needs to do, start capitalizing on those.
7-11. Point.
Jake definitely in a groove now. You can see he's walking with a lot more confidence, hitting his
8,
balls with a lot
serving
more
11.
intent. Kind of keeping Cardona on his heels here. Let's see if he can ride this wave and put himself back into contention here.
Ooh, an ace serve for Bredenbeck. That's 4 points in a row. Coming back here in game 2,
9-11.
3 alone just after Cardona's timeout.
You can hear the crowd a little bit kind of getting behind Jake here. They're going to start pushing for the underdog, see if they can make this game close.
2 bounces.
That is tough. Cardona doesn't want Bredenbeck to get too close, but it's funny how that can change. A 4-point run puts it within
11
2
serves
now,
9.
tying it up.
Point.
What a return there from Cardona.
There's that power, folks. There's that power. Cardona definitely
12
not shy
serves
to break
9.
that out, and these courts will definitely play to that.
I think he had to feel, too, that Jake was creeping up behind him on the left side and just placed it right past him. Great racquetball today from Cardona.
Broken ball.
Broken ball. There's David Bobby Horn walking across the screen there. Bobby is local to Stockton, California. He was actually in the semifinals last night against Jake Bredenbeck. Currently number 4 on the WRT. Now, I always love to note these two, Bredenbeck and Cardona, are good friends off the court, so it's always interesting to see how that switches. You know, obviously once you step on the court, it's all about the competition and who's going to win. But I love that you can still be friends off the court, too, and there's a lot of love that I've felt so far here in the racquetball community. I think you see that a lot. It's a great community of good people.
Oh, absolutely. You always love whenever you have that foe that can push you to the next level, bring the best out of you. You know, it's just about everybody needs that. It pushes you to be a better player, and the same for your opponent. And even better that these guys can, you know, shake hands and be ready to have a good time after the tournament's over as well.
Serving 9.
Looks like the players are ready to keep going here in game 2. Cardona leads 12-9 in our Modesto Open final. Ref calls a skip. That means it's Bredenbeck's turn. See if he can go on another
9
run.
serves
Last
12.
time Bredenbeck was in the service box, we saw a 4-point run. So let's see what he can do now. Down by 3.
Point.
All right, there he goes.
As you can see, Jake's getting his serve going here. That's definitely important. You know, it's one of the few
12
times where you have the
serves.
ball in your hand and you get to
10
control
serves 12.
where that opponent goes. You're always trying to get that set up right off the serve, being very aggressive here.
Screen. Hold it.
He'll get a second serve. Yeah, I think that was part of Jake's struggle in game 1, kind of finding his service
Second
groove
serve.
out there against Cardona. Cardona was picking up everything in game 1.
Side out.
Cardona is just such a natural racquetball player that it just looks, he makes it look so easy when he hits shots like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's even changed his shirt. Doesn't really look like he's sweating
12
out
serves
there.
10.
They make it look that easy.
Second serve. Hold it, hold it, hold it.
There's a second ball on the court. There is a bit of an opening here between courts 1 and 2.
Replay.
It's like they'll replay that.
Twelve serves 10.
The ref pushing Cardona along there a little bit.
Second serve.
Ooh, nice get by Jake.
Point.
Amazing the court vision Cardona has. You know, he didn't even see really where Jake was in until the last second, and he was able to be patient on that ball. And when he came into his view, he was able to hit it
13.
the opposite way as Jake was
Serves
trying
10.
to anticipate that that ball was going to maybe be a pinch or something right down the line. Instead, Cardona shooting the cross-court shot.
Replay.
There's a replay as they jam up a little bit back there in the back of the court. 13 serving 10. Cardona very
13-10.
close to closing out the match, but it's not over till it's over.
Short, second serve.
Get quite a rally here in game 2. Ooh.
Point.
Great rally and a great finish. I think that rally just kind of sums up the way the match has gone so far. You know, these guys are kind of battling out, but somehow
14,
Cardona always just
serving
able to
10.
hit those cleaner lines that are just giving him the advantage here today.
Well, this will be the first match point then for Alex Cardona. If he can win this match point, he will be earning his 7th WRT point.
A great first serve, and that was the match.
There it is, Alex Cardona, the 2015 Modesto Open champion. What a match, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go down to the court and hear from both our finalists. Of course, thank you, Izzy Torres, for joining me today, and we thank all of you for watching.